All right, welcome to the Smart Couple Show, our weekly show here Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, where I answer at least one question from listeners like you about relationship, intimacy, sex, marriage, monogamy, conflict, communication, all the drama and intensity that comes up between two people, right? Especially when we get in a relationship for a long period of time. This show/podcast is designed to help you have a really rockin' long-term relationship. That's really what we're about here. And we teach you how to be a smart couple. And by smart, I mean you are willing and able to face yourself and what's blocking you from getting what you claim you want. And so we're not talking about book smart here. We're talking about street smart that, oh, I'm in pain in my relationship. The smart person, the intelligence moves towards where you're stuck and whatever the problem is, and we find a solution. Okay, that's intelligence. When we're not so smart and we are ignorant, we stay in denial about the relationship, and we stay in denial about our quote problems, and we continue to hit the snooze button over and over, like there's no problem here, I'm fine, it's okay, it's just kind of uncomfortable, but I'll just change the channel, I'll distract, I'll avoid. Okay, that's dumb, it's ignorant, and it's not going to get you what you want. So we're talking about intelligence here. There's a little hidden metaphor in smart, that smart is the resiliency of the human spirit and the intelligence of your body and the intelligence of pain and symptoms as feedback. So whenever you're struggling in your life, you can consider that intelligent. There's something intelligent going on, and your job is to find out what it is. Okay? So that's what we're talking about when we talk about the Smart Couple podcast, or the smart person. All right? There's intelligence happening below our awareness, and our job is to get hip to that and maximize and utilize that if we can. Okay, here we go. I got a question. I've got lots of questions, loads of questions, and I'm going to pick one from Jordan. Okay. So Jordan says, you talk about working together and communication, but is there such a thing as working too well together, never fighting or getting into an argument? Sometimes I would like to have some type of disagreement or argument. Nice, Jordan, you're onto something here. We have been together for almost 4 years, and we have not had one disagreement or argument. He just kinda always gives me what I want. Please help. Okay. What is going on here? Okay, I was that guy, all right, that was so proud of myself for never having a fight. And I used to talk about my parents in a positive light before I started working on myself, like, my parents never fight. Although there was a time in middle school where it was pretty intense, and I remember yelling when I was downstairs in the basement in my room, and there was lots of yelling going on upstairs. I don't have probably but 2 memories of that, so I don't think there was yelling all the time, but whatever. My parents were masters at just going like this and compartmentalizing. And you know what I'm talking about, right? And I think that generation, because they didn't have a lot of tools like we do and access to all this information, it was just like, suck it up, man. It's okay. Well, I mean, complaining about it isn't going to do anything. Crying about it isn't going to do anything. I'll just like cruise. So they did an excellent job of somehow getting through hard times, and with kind of no tools. So that kind of worked for them. Now granted, that generation, I think, largely just shoved things under the rug. And like I said, compartmentalize, you put something in the shelf. And so you give the error that everything is fine. We're not fighting, because fighting is a big problem. There's still so many messages out there that if you're fighting in a marriage or fighting in an intimate relationship or fighting about sex or fighting about money, that's bad and that's wrong and you shouldn't have disagreements like that. I think that's incredibly just dumb and naive. So Jordan's asking about, well, we don't fight. But Jordan's question here is sometimes I would like to have some disagreement or argument. So I can't tell if Jordan is a man with a man or Jordan's a woman with a man, but either way, you're with Jordan, you're with someone who's probably very conflict avoidant. And conflict avoiders can do a great smokescreen, and they can put one up and just be like, hey, it's cool. Let's look on the bright side, like the eternal optimist, right? That refuses to let anything negative get in their way and just says, hey, it's fine. We're okay. Hey, we're fine. But the problem with that approach is you're not getting at like the core of the tension and the core of what's like the deeper cut here between us. So 4 years of no fighting, in my opinion, you're missing something huge. You're missing out on life. Because look around. Just look around, read the news, just pay attention. Conflict is everywhere. And look inside yourself. If you don't want to look out there, cool. Look inside yourself. Conflict is going on all the time. If you're halfway awake, paying attention. So I think, Jordan, your partner is in denial and is avoiding. Now, there's no problem with that. If someone in our life wants to never ever fight, because that's their kind of like thing, and they want to be optimistic all the time, and hey, there's no problem here. I'm great. Everything's great. I don't trust those people personally. I'm just like, what? So if they want to do that, it's more power to them. They are totally entitled to that. But my sense is you're starting to get a little agitated, like, why, especially if you're listening to me, I'm talking about fighting is the way. Fighting is a doorway, folks, into greater understanding, greater connection, more beauty and possibility. Conflict and challenge is what makes us grow and makes us stronger as human beings. So if you're not experiencing that, you are asleep, or you're lazy or complacent or completely checked out. And some people, because they grew up in a challenging environment or they grew up in a, quote, perfect environment. Like, do you ever see that movie American Beauty? The glossy veneer of the neighbors is like, everything is great, we're all fine. And if you grew up in a family like that, you are brainwashed into believing that everything is great. But just turn on the TV, guys. Just look around. Look in the mirror. It is not fine. There's a lot of shit that is not fine going on. And it's no different between us or inside of us. And I don't see that as a problem. None of that's a problem. Let's take that attitude of kind of optimism and embrace that conflict is simply a part of life. You cannot have 365 days of sunshine and no wind, no clouds, and just happiness all the time. It's not possible. It's a fantasy. So get real with what's actually going on. Challenge your partner and be like, hey, partner, Jordan, this is Jordan for you. Hey, partner, I noticed we haven't fought in 4 years. I'm starting to feel uncomfortable with that, and I want to make a fight about this. This doesn't work for me. I want to feel some tension here and some, it doesn't mean you have to create a fight or create some drama, but I would just say I trust your spider senses. There's something going on here, and you want to follow that and be like, hey, is there more here? I can assure you there's more. And like I said, like I say a lot, come to Boulder, Colorado, move into my house, either one of you, and I guarantee you we will get into conflict within 6 months. And within 3 years or 4 years, we might want to kill each other. So that's just how human beings are. So my guess is you've attracted this for some reason, and I would be looking into why. Why am I with someone who's completely oblivious to conflict, and what does that say about me? So, that's my last statement for you. Pacifica has got a good point here. Fighting sounds like triggers involved. There's triggers involved in argument or disagreement. Sounds like it could be just problem solving. Well, if you move in with someone, you're problem solving all the time, hopefully, if you're growing. Some people will move in together, get married, and they'll just set up shop, get their routine completely dialed because the brain likes to automate and simplify everything, including our partner. And, the more you can automate everything so you don't have to think about it, you just disengage from it. And then you're just, hi, honey, how was your day? And it becomes this kind of stale, robotic thing. A lot of people do that. So, but if we're actually engaged in our life in a real way, you can't help but feel intensity going on at times. And you talk about it and you disagree and you say, I don't like the way you're loading the dishwasher. Honey, why don't you fold the clothes for once? What's up with that way where you leave your keys in your jacket? You're always leaving shit on the floor. Like, will you please pick it up? These are the kind of things that we have to deal with. And it's good for us, right? It's good for us to find each other and to wrestle, and to eventually get to a place of having each other's back and dealing with our idiosyncrasies and our differences and figuring out that whole dance. It's really good for us. So here's the thing. So since fighting is inevitable in a relationship, except for maybe Jordan's relationship, since fighting is inevitable, you got to learn how, right? And I teach classes on that. It's essential because conflict's a part of life. And if you buy into that conflict is a part of life and conflict is a part of relationship, it's in your best interest to learn. If you think you can have a conflict-free relationship and you want to buy into that fantasy, be my guest. It's just, write me in 5 years and say, hey, Jayson, I was able to successfully have a conflict-free relationship. We never fought once, and we are the most fulfilled couple on the planet. Great. I'll interview you on my podcast in 6 years when I hear that report. But my guess is I'll never hear from you because I'm never going to get that report. Brittany, how do you suggest providing support for someone when you don't know much, if anything, about the object of their distress? You ask, and you just say, hey, it seems like, Jayson, you're stressed out. I'm just noticing there's agitation and upset, and I just want to let you know I'm here to support you, and I would love to hear about what's happening for you so that I know how to kind of show up here. Do you want to do this struggle alone by yourself, or do you want any feedback, or do you want someone, with me or with you here, like to work through this, or would you rather just kind of be agitated and do it alone? And that's okay. I just need to know so I can kind of take care of myself. All right, I'll stop there. Thank you for your questions and engagement here. And I'll leave you with one of my favorite statements. If you want to say no to drama, say yes to conflict. And we'll talk soon.